My gluten-free sourdough is all fermented. You can see that it's risen a decent amount and now it's all bubbly. Now I'm going to make the preferment, equal parts starter, the water, and brown rice flour again. Do 150 grams of each. So I have a little bit left in here that I'm going to be able to use for my new starter. I'm just gonna set this aside in a jar and then keep it in the fridge until I'm ready to bake again. All right, here it is. It looks definitely a lot different than regular sourdough. This is gluten-free, so hopefully it turns out. I'm going to cover it with a clean tea towel, and then I'm going to let it rest for 4 to 18 hours. It's evening right now, so I'm probably just gonna let it rest overnight, and then I will get to it tomorrow. Now I'm going to make this gel out of psyllium husk powder and water, and then I'm going to mix this in with the flours later on. "65 to 80 grams of brown rice flour. Since I'm in Colorado and it tends to be drier here, I'm gonna do 65 grams to start off with, and then we'll go from there. Now we mix. So this is the preferment here. It's been proofing for about 18 hours. It hasn't risen a whole lot, so we're gonna see how this goes. I don't have super high hopes, but there are some bubbles. It is gluten-free. You know that always means that it's going to look different than regular sourdough starter, so we're just gonna try it and see how it goes. So the psyllium husk has definitely turned into a gel. So now I'm going to whisk that into the preferment here. This is the starter that I did the big fermentation with yesterday. So I'm going to whisk this in, and then from here we're going to add it into the stand mixer with the flours. There's a very interesting texture here. I'm gonna add just a little bit of olive oil because it said that it helps with the texture of the crust. Let's add this to the flours. The surface. It's a loaf. It might slightly be falling apart. A cute little loaf. I don't have a fancy banneton, but I'm going to use just a tea towel and a bowl. And we're just going to plop it on in and say good night. I'm going to let this raise for about 4 hours, and then we're going to go from there. Ooh, it's definitely risen. Looks really good. So now we're going to flip it onto some parchment paper. We're going to score it, and then we'll put it in the oven to bake. So I need to be really gentle about this. Not awful, I just need to scoot it over. It's supposed to go in the middle, but it's right here. You can see it's a bit dry. Not awful for my first time trying to do a gluten-free sourdough, so we'll see what happens after we bake it. I don't know if I should attempt scoring it or not because it already has this crease here. Maybe I'll just turn that into a score. Let's try that. That will be our score. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. This is a very hot preheated Dutch oven. I'm going to very gently move the bread into the Dutch oven. Now we're gonna bake this for 45 minutes, and then we're going to remove the lid and bake it for another 20 to 45 minutes. Good. So it's all cooled off. It's not quite as risen as I would like to see. I think that's normal when you have a young starter. Hopefully as I use it more, it's going to start rising more, but let's cut it open. Okay, moment of truth. Okay, it's definitely too dense. The bubbles are spread out nicely and they're pretty consistent, so that's good. You can see it's not very squishy, very, very dense. So there's definitely room for improvement, but I would say not too bad for my first loaf. It definitely breaks apart too as you move it. Definitely has that sourdough flavor. It's really good. Even though it's dense, I still really like it. And I will definitely eat the whole thing. And it's been a really long time since I've had good gluten-free bread like this. So definitely room for improvement. I'm looking forward to making more batches, but I think it was mostly a success.